All right. I would love to see your faces on camera today because I want to keep this upbeat and I want to do some interaction today. And if you are looking to expand your Ron business and you are looking to make more money as a Ron notary, turn on your camera right now because guess what? As a Ron notary, your camera has to be on. So let's practice that first step right now, getting over being afraid to turn on our camera. Let's give a wave to everybody. And I really want to see those cameras light up. You guys are Ron notaries. You're here specifically because you're a Ron notary. So let's get over that first hump right now and turn on that camera because you can't be a Ron notary if you're not turning on that camera. Okay. I'm going to take it as you're not so serious if you don't turn on on those cameras. Seriously. So I want to see your faces. I want to see them through the entire meeting because we've got a lot to talk about on how to expand your notary Ron business. The very first part of this, we're going to go over our listings. So it's kind of like a two-part webinar. I'm going to try to keep it right to an hour. The first part of this webinar, I'm going to talk about listings, online listings, what you need to be doing as a Ron notary. I'm going to be using Online Notaries Public, which is Notary Star's sister website specifically for Ron notaries. There are a lot of directories today, and a lot of them are actually built on the same platform. So you can apply these principles to the platforms that you are listing with outside of Online Notaries Public. The way I look at it is you can never put your name in too many hats, okay? Like seriously, guys, in our industry, okay? I'm going to start out with saying this. In our industry, I hear notaries saying all the time, I don't pay for listings, I don't pay for marketing, I don't do this. Actually, you're wrong. You should. Notary Rotary, 123 Notary, Online Notaries Public, Notary Stars, Bill Soroka's directory, Margie Kaplan's directory. Your name needs to be in every single hat, and you need to write that off on your taxes every year. You need a marketing budget, okay? And that's just where it starts. And everywhere you can list for free, you want to put for free. Let me explain why, okay? Tomorrow I'm giving a big seminar, and this is actually going to be something that I talk about tomorrow. Giving a big seminar for 300 people. The registration ends in about an hour. But one of the things that you need for your website is called backlinks, okay? And every directory that you put your name in that has a listing that goes out on the internet, when it reads that directory, it goes through every single link on that page and it discovers your website on that page, which makes your website stronger. Go out and Google it. If you don't want to come to my seminar tomorrow, go out and just Google backlinking SEO. You want good, healthy backlinks coming back to your website. You want to be found where people might not find your website. They might find that directory first, okay? One of the biggest things that I see as a problem is I own 3 directories, okay? And I get to see, well, we just launched the second one, so I don't have a good sample size for this, but I own 2 directories and I get to see where people make mistakes by creating listings, okay? And there's a lot of things that I want to instill in you. And believe me, I'm not talking down to you. I've been doing this for over 13 years. And I feel like I just kind of clawed my way to where I'm at now, owning Unlimited Inc., having Notary Stars, also having Online Notaries Public and launching a 3rd directory, also running a part-time advertising digital marketing agency. I feel like I just kind of learned everything, digging my way through. And so I'm not talking down to you if you don't know these things, but I want to let you know that the biggest problem with notary listings is notaries are lazy, okay? And as a Ron notary, you cannot be lazy, okay? And I say this with love, but you've got to really fill out these listings. You've got to understand how the internet works because now your job is on the internet, okay? And I want to tell you, when it comes to filling out your listing, and I'm gonna go over some components on Online Notaries Public. Some directories might be different, but they all generally work the same way, okay? Especially nowadays, everybody's buying their directories from the same directory company. It's what you do with the directory that really makes it work. The very first thing that I see the problem is notaries not filling out their listing. They sign up for it. Online Notaries Public, I'm not kidding you, 50% of the profiles have not been completed. And we send out an email reminding you pay money for these directories and then you don't fill them out. And it's not going to help you. And let me explain why filling out, it's not just filling out your listing, it's how you fill it out. What are you putting into your listing? And I want to kind of show you the evolution of online Notaries Public today and show you how it's working. So very first thing that I'm going to do here is just pop over to the website itself. Now, when we first launched, we had a different way to search on the actual site. And by the way, you can apply this to any listing directory, especially any one that I own, whether it be Notary Stars, Online Notaries Public, or Hire Me Locally, which we just launched. This is, I want to make sure that I shared the right screen here. Yeah, you guys can see the Online Notaries Public. The way that we've changed this now is for people to either be able to search for remote online notarization or in-person electronic notarization, because really those are the only two things that people are going to be pulling from the directory from. We found out pretty quickly recently, and you guys heard the announcement, we got a pretty large client. The problem that they were having is the second thing is once somebody says, okay, I want a remote online notary, they get to choose the platform. A lot of title and escrow already know what platforms are that they're approved for their company. So we changed our directory in order to be able to search by, do you want an in-person electronic notarization or remote online notarization? And then we put all of the platforms that our clients might be searching for, so it's easier for them to return those notaries. Now, when we initially launched the directory, we wanted to separate it by state to give all notaries the ability to kind of be found in their state. Well, guess what? Doesn't matter really where you're located from. If they know you have to be located in a state, they're going to read your profile. They'll count you out. Now on signing order, recently I did put out a request. You now have to mark yourself as a remote online notary and signing order to be found as a RON notary. So when a RON order gets put in, unless you tick the little box inside your profile that says remote online notary or in-person electronic notary, you're not going to get found. So if you're here today or watching this replay, you have homework this weekend, and don't forget it. Okay, if you got a pen and paper right now, write down this first step. If you are a remote online notary, go to signing order, check that box to see if they have it, and tick that box that says remote online notary. It's going to put you into the category to start receiving remote online notaries. Now, you'll notice something different. And I had a notary, and if they're here today, I'm not picking on you or anything, but I had a notary who screenshot me recently and said, Ronnie, I'm getting all these orders, but they keep saying that they're from other states. They were remote online notary appointments, and she had turned away 15 of them, and they were actually from my company. And I'm glad that she wrote me, but she never inquired. She just thought it was, she said, is something wrong? It seems like these signings are coming across the border. You know, I'm in Alabama. They're coming from, Florida. They're coming from Texas, all of these places. And it was going by the property address. Signing companies are still getting the bearings on how to schedule RON signings, and unlimited, no different, but we got it dialed in, and we're going to talk about that later in the session. But let's continue on talking about just directories in general. Okay. Now I'm going to go over some components here. I'm going to share my screen here. This is the back end of where you would create a listing on Online Notaries Public. We have this little bar here that says, how complete is your listing? I want you to forget that bar even exists. Okay. That bar really is just a guide. Did you fill in something? But I want to talk about actually filling out your listing. First of all, I want you to put in a profile photo, and there is no excuse these days for anybody to not be able to put in a profile photo. You've heard me say it before on just regular paper signings. You also want to put it in on every listing that you have. You do not want to use a company logo. You want to use a profile photo, and here's why. If you are working with signing agencies and they think that you are a company, they are not going to hire you. If your business is called, and I got to make up a name, and if this happens to be someone's name, I am not pulling this out of anywhere. If it's called the Rubber Band, I just saw a rubber band on my desk, the Rubber Band Notary Company, okay, you automatically look like you're a company. Signing services do not want to work with notaries who might be competition. They want to work with notaries who want to be notaries. Even if you're working for that goal, your listings need to be as an individual in your face, okay? If you have logos up, it's not helping you. I can tell you right now, I know tons of signing agency owners that won't hire a notary who is not putting their face. Okay. Also, a lot of software these days are intending to use your photo to say, this is who's coming to your house. We're already starting to see that be played with in signing work. So be advised that a photo is really important. Okay. You can create a cover photo, those little banners that go across the top of your listing. You want to be able to create a cover photo. It gives you the dimensions that you can create. And that's where you can actually put in, in-person and online Notary Public. Make sure it stands out. Use that banner across the top of these listings. Okay. Now, additional details. This is where on our platform, we took out a lot of things. We used to have a lot of things just like Notary Stars. We took them out because for a remote online notary, doesn't really matter what all your bells and whistles are. It matters what's your platform and in which category do you want to be listed in. On our platform, we have 2 categories. Sometimes notaries come in and they check out one box or they check the other, but they don't check both. This one is for remote online notarization, which puts you into that search category. The next one is for in-person electronic notarization, okay? When you're ticking these boxes like Blue Notary, Notarize, and I know that we have another directory owner on here as well. I encourage you, if you don't have those, I haven't seen your directory, but if you haven't laid it out with, you can lay out many more tags, but what these tags do is actually perform an SEO with your directory once you get it into Google search. These people that are repeat customers for Notarize, these become keywords when people are looking for Notarize. Okay, they become keywords when they're looking for people on Notary Cam, and pulls up this, will pull up your directory as well. For those listings, you want to make sure that you accurately keep your listings up to date with what profile you're in. Now, it might seem really silly to have a personal quote or motto that you would put into your listing. And a lot of people would be like, I became a Notary Public. Forget that. You want to SEO your listing, okay? That personal quote or motto should be like, I love performing remote online notarization for the state of Texas, or for the state of California's not there yet, but you want to do that. Your hours of operation, use keywords, okay? Really important. I offer in-person notarizations during these hours. You can schedule a remote online virtual notarization during these hours. Use those keywords anytime you can put them in there and be organic. Accepted forms of payment, break it out. Now you have 2 types of notarizations you can do. You can use online Notaries Public for in-person too, because you may have to flip to in-person electronic. Break out the forms of payment of what you would charge if you were doing an in-person electronic notarization, and break out the forms of payment if you're doing RON. Let them know and use those keywords. Credentials. You would be surprised. So I recently built a website for a massage therapist here in Phoenix. On the homepage, all the keywords are really their credentials. The homepage is actually their resume, and I'll actually pop over and show it to you here. So this is Mike's Mobile Massage as it's popping up. You guys know I work with a lot of business. He's having his website revamped while he's out of the country. Basically, this website is his credentials. Okay. If you Google Phoenix Mobile Massage, Mike's website is on the #1 page. And really, it's just his credentials, those keywords, massage, massage, massage. You guys have tons of credentials, but you might not be entering them in properly. If you took Notary Stars RON training, Notary Stars remote online notarization training. If you took the NNA training for RON, National Notary Association remote online notarization training. If you took training through loan signing system, remote online notarization training, use those keywords. Okay, you want to use them as much as you possibly can. Now I want to talk about the About Me section. Okay, our directory and most of the directories are going to allow you to input a lot of information, and I want to tell you where you can go a little cray-cray, but first let's go back to, I think it's under basic information. Under your basic information here, what I tell people to do is just list their state. You don't really need any of this information listed. There's a section down here about website links, your booking calendar for online notaries. You guys may have like a online booking link. These are good, healthy backlinks, but you also want to put your social media, which I'm going to talk about tonight. Okay, actually social media is what prompted me to have this entire session. Your social media should be pointing towards your website. Okay, if you haven't set up social media and you have a website, you are missing a huge component of SEO. That'll be in the course tomorrow, and we'll go much more in depth to it. But every social media platform post should be pointing back to your website. This directory should also be pointing to your website. What the internet does is it's like a little spider. You hear that term, World Wide Web, right? It's out there spinning a web. And every time you're linking to your social media, you're pulling it up. Every time your social media links to your website, it's pulling it up in search rankings. So if you don't have these components, you're missing a big component of pulling your own listing and your own website up in the search rankings. Okay, so you want to make sure you're not missing any spots. Now, do you have to have every single listing, every single social media? No, I tell people pick three. Pick three and focus on them. A lot of them you can post to one and post to it'll post to all the social media, but you definitely want to make sure that you're putting that in your listings. Okay, now in the About Me section, this is where I really want to kind of show you something that you can do to kind of maximize your listing. Okay, really think out logically what your customers need to know first. Okay, I provide remote online notarization from the state of Arizona. My fee for remote online notarization. See how I'm organically using that word again and again and again. You don't want to use it too much. Okay, but you want to use it enough where you're using that. Use your platform name, talk about it. I'd say a paragraph, probably about at least no minimum half the size of this white space here. But I want to show you something on another website that you guys, that'll probably blow your mind, and you can do it here. This is Nancy Fauché's Notary Rotary profile that we just inserted this. This is a video that you can pop into your listing. You can make a little video. This was made seriously like in Canva, and it just
Hi there, my name is Nancy Fauché, and I'm a mobile notary serving.
That's for her mobile notary, but she can also put this into her listing. So if you go to YouTube, if you've uploaded it to your YouTube channel, let me get to see it on YouTube here. Embedding it into these listings, a nice little video about your business
Marion
and about you, or uploading how your platform works. Do a faux notarization and explain what it would be like to work with you. All you have to do is click on share here, click on embed, and then click on copy. You're going to copy this little code here. And in your listing, you're just going to say insert a video and then paste that embed code. And now you have a video on your listing that you can show people how it works. You can, tell people about you, what your business, business is. Another thing that can help your listing is linking out to other information. So list your credentials again. So you can put credentials, and you're going to put national. Okay, then you would link this text. Just simply pop over to whatever you're linking to. So let's say, what's it called? Signing agent.com. This is where all the National Notary Association profiles are. And I'm looking for a Florida for a particular reason, because that's the person's listing that I have open here. Let's see, did I put it right? Actually, let's see if I can search by name. Researching, there we go. So you find your profile here, and this is a great way to say, you know, I'm good standing with the NNA. You can link that text over to the in your listing here. This makes your listing start becoming part of the World Wide Web. So you're just going to put that in there. You can choose if you want it to open up. I like to have it open up in a new tab so my listing stays open on someone's browser. You're going to say insert. Every time you do this, okay, every time you hyperlink something off your listing, you're becoming more a part of the World Wide Web. If you have a way to search for notaries in your state on your state website, or have a direct link to your good standing with your state, link it in your listing. If you have other profiles on signing orders, SnapDocs, list those as many links as you can on your listing, because it's going to pull your listing up in search rankings on every directory. Okay, so a couple of things that we've touched on, and I want to make sure that everybody kind of understands what we're doing here is you want your listing, no matter if it's on Online Notaries Public or you know, anybody else's directory, you want your listing to become more a part of the World Wide Web. The more information that you put into your listing, the better it's going to be. Now, here's a little bit more information, okay? So 2 things, linking out to other information, Google loves it. You link out to another page. If you want to say, you know, I can't accept military IDs, then link out to that information where that article from the government is. It says, you know, military IDs can't be photographed, which being recorded is not a really good idea, right? So link out to that article. You're becoming more part of the World Wide Web, and your listing becomes more and more important over time. Will it happen overnight? No, Google's got to recrawl our website, right? That could take 4 to 6 weeks, but we've got some time to start doing things. Now, on our directory here, another thing that you really want to be aware of, and I see people missing this all the time, is the service areas. We give 100 locations to service, okay? You want to list all 50 states. Okay, there's a reason why we put that in there. We want your listing to get that keyword for Alabama, for Florida, for what have you. If you are bilingual and service other countries, you can put that into your bio, and that's going to also work. So if you know that you're getting a lot of business from another country with a consulate nearby because you speak that language, feel free to put that in your bio. Our directory really focuses on being able to list in the United States. However, use the other 50 for major cities around the country. Okay, you're not bound to your city anymore. I see notaries putting in their zip codes, which is great for notary stars because you're bound to a finite area as a mobile notary. This directory is actually created to reach more people throughout the entire country, and hopefully, you know, around the globe. You want to put in service areas like major cities. If you are in Austin, put in, you know, Houston, put in Atlanta, put in Jacksonville. Go out and research what are the most popular cities, what are the most expensive cities. Start marketing in the backyard of others. And I have to tell you, you know, I don't mean to say this, you know, maliciously, but the lazy notaries who don't fill out their listings and don't get found are not as appealing. That's not your fault. You know, right now, Notarize and Blue Notary and Notary Cam are marketing in your backyard. You cannot tell me you have not seen a listing, because I know all of you are Googling Notary Near Me and all these things to see who your competition is. And they're all marketing in your backyard. Okay, they're all coming up, and you guys have to work a little bit harder and a little bit smarter to reach out. And don't just do it on our directory, do it on every directory you're a part of. Become a part of every directory, create that marketing budget. It might be a little expensive, but that's what you get to write off on taxes, okay? Every business needs write-offs. It's just a part of being, in business for yourself. Now, I want to kind of change gears here because we're coming up on that, the half-hour mark. I want to answer any questions, that we might have so far on really filling out those listings, no matter where you are. Do you guys have any questions about information that you need to put in, or does anybody? Yeah, there we go. Miss Doris, go ahead.
Okay, hi, you can hear me, okay. On that listing where you had listing for remote and for mobile,
Mhm.
I didn't see unlimited ink, number one, for mobile notaries. And suppose you have, you work with a title agency that's not on that list. So that kind of limits you if you don't have very many of those sites that you work with, but you do work a lot with a particular title agency, but it's not on that list. Say like I have two, you and Express Notary and Loan Signers. I didn't see that on that list. So that kind of.
So the platforms that you're listing on here, and correct me if I'm in the wrong spot, but I believe you're talking about under additional details here. You didn't see a list for Unlimited Ink or any other signing agencies. Is that what you're talking about? You went back on mute. You got to stay off because it's locked for mute.
Yeah, I didn't see that. I didn't see it.
Yeah. So these are all just RON platforms. These are not companies that you work with. These are the platforms that you work on. So Unlimited Ink and Express Notary can hire the same notaries, but they're more interested in what platform you're performing on. You went back on mute there. I want to make sure I answered that question.
Okay, so, but I'm saying for the in-person electronic notarization.
Right. Again, any hiring party is only going to be concerned with what platform you're going to be doing it with. So that's why the lists are exactly the same. You choose, because you might do your in-person electronic notarizations through escrow tab, but you might decide that you're doing all your RONs through Blue Notary. Some platforms allow you to do IPN, so you might do IPN on both of these platforms. It gives you the flexibility to choose which one you're doing that type of service, what platform you're doing that type of service on. You got to unmute there.
So with the in-person electronic notarization, there would have to be one that you go out in person and do. So this listing on the in-person electronic notarization doesn't have any of the platforms, any of the title agencies, or any of the ones that I would use to go in person. Like Notarize, I don't even think they have an in-person notarization type of thing.
Right.
Cyberize it, do they? Maybe I misunderstood.
The companies that are, so again, this platform, correct, Notarize may not have an in-person notarization. The lists are identical. You're going to choose which one of these you use to do in-person electronic notarization with. And then you're going to choose which one you do remote online notarization with. It may be different, okay? You may use Blue Notary for your in-person notarizations and Cyberize it for your remote online notarizations. Any company can hire you from this list based on what platform you're using. The companies themselves are not listed on here. They come here to find you. Okay, they can come here and research you and find you and add you to their list because you're on those platforms. Does that make sense to you now, Miss Doris?
Yeah.
Okay. Perfect. I really want to make sure that was answered, because that's actually a really great question. And I bet you're not the only one that was thinking about that. We have Terry up next for a question.
Okay, hi Ronnie, how you doing?
Good, how are you doing?
Good. So I just got through an appointment, so I came in about 10 minutes ago. So it looks like you're saying that this platform, onlinenotariespublic.com, that's a good platform for us to go ahead and pay and get seen or whatever.
So, full disclosure, this is the sister site of Notary Stars. I'm
Okay.
not going, you guys have, I ask you through social media, sign up, I make commercials. I'm not here to do a sales call tonight, to tell you yes or no. There's a lot of directories out there. If you're enjoying what you're seeing, absolutely, but I'm not here to encourage anyone to purchase.
No, I get it.
I don't want to be a salesman tonight.
No, I get it. I get
wanna
it.
be
I guess
helpful.
what I'm getting at to first start that question off is because I've seen so many emails coming my way saying, don't you want to get on our website so you can get noticed? And I didn't know that that is something we should do. So if this is something you created, then for sure I feel comfortable doing it. If this is something you created, I know you're not trying to make us do it, but if this is something you created and your advice, if I can say it that way, is this is one of the platforms that you're saying, hey Terry, yes, people go on here to find Ron Notaries. Is that what I'm hearing?
That is what we are marketing it for, absolutely.
Okay. And with that being said, is it, I've heard, I did long time ago, you guys, I think I got an email from Blue Notary and I went through the training and all that, but I never have used it. I started out with one notary. And it's just been,
We're gonna get into that in just a little bit. You got here just in time.
Thank you, because I was about to say I haven't used it, but I did go through the training. So thank you for going. Okay, that's what I want. Okay, thank you.
We are gonna get into that real soon, okay?
Okay, thank you.
I know a lot of people are here for that, so I want to make sure we get there. We got 3 more questions up on the screen, and then I'm gonna jump into that segment because I want to keep this kind of like at an hour. Andrea, you are up next with your question.
Hi, just Blue Notary on the email, it said it has to be the hybrid plan, not the pro hybrid.
We're gonna get into that as well.
Okay.
Not that I want to cut you off. It's just that I'm gonna do a whole segment just on that.
Totally understand. And then I've already set up my account and everything, but I didn't see how yours had the barcode going across for the percentage completed. I didn't have that on mine.
On your listing, are you talking about on the Online Notaries Public?
Yes.
When did you fill out your listing?
Maybe last week.
Okay. If you'll send me an email to contact@onlinenotariespublic.com, I'll take a look at it. It may be the browser that you reached it from, but I do believe that it's I do believe everybody should have it because every profile is exactly the same in the background.
Yeah, and everything else looked just like yours. It just didn't have that bar. So I just wanted to double check and make sure. Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Alicia Jones, you are up next.
Hi, Ronnie, thank you so much for this. I had a quick question. I got a little confused when you were saying put other links to other like Notary Rotary or 123 or sign an order on your profile. Where would you put that?
You can put it in your bio down at the bottom where, first you want to fill out your information at the top of your profile logically. Then you can say, other listing sites that you can find me on and create links to all the other listing sites.
Or something like that.
Yeah, and link those to your other listing sites. The more you become a part of the World Wide Web, especially in the content generation we have now, the stronger your listings are going to get on everything.
Okay. All right, that's awesome. Thank you so much.
Thank you. And then Helen, you are up next.
Yes, hi Ronnie, how are you?
Good, how are you doing?
Good. My question, well, I wrote you an email because I saw the email that you sent about the orders that you're getting for Ron. And so I signed up on the signer order and I also started on the directory. But the thing is that, I don't know if we can talk about this right now, or should I just write you an email later about how do I get the orders from signing order, because it's the first time that I'm using it.
We are going to talk about that tonight, actually.
Okay,
This is
perfect.
the perfect time.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Hmm.
And then the last question up before we move into the next segment, and sorry to do this, but they had their hands up first, and then we'll come back to any more after this. Charles, you are the last question before we move into the next segment.
I'm in Michigan, and the Michigan only recognizes 5 or 6 of the names that are on that list.
So you only would choose the ones that are applicable to you.
Okay.
Okay. And then guys, before we move on to the next segment, he brought a jar to my mind here. If you have a platform that you're working on that's not listed on our directories, Notary Stars or Online Notaries Public, please let us know. We'll be happy to add them. We think we have them all, but there may be more coming up that you're working with that your state has that others don't have. So if you do have them, you can email us on either directory and we'll be glad to add them. It's literally just a few clicks of a button to get it added. And I love making sure it's there. Now, one of the reasons that I started to prompt this, this is not a sales call, okay? But the reason that I started to prompt this is because, and if you don't know me, I have very little time. I wake up at 5 in the morning and I'm usually doing a webinar in the evening or staying up with the scheduling team until it's over. And then I help out with my team at Unlimited Ink. So I really watch, just like you guys, I watch Instagram in the bathroom. And the only time I get to myself every day is I take about a 30-minute bath and then I get my shower. And in that 30 minutes, I fly through Instagram just like you guys do, laying in bed. By the time I go to bed, I'm usually passing out, but I get my 30 minutes of time in and I scrolled past the notary and I thought this was so brilliant. It was the first notary I've seen doing this. And you guys know I'm all about social media lately. I've been encouraging all my marketing students and trying to help them get them started on social media. I did a $1,000 challenge at Notary Stars for the summer to get people, and I'm so proud of the people who've done videos. I got an educational piece that I could get my document notarized online through Instagram. And I favored her, not because I'm in the industry, because I was like, wow, this is really great. I asked you to turn on your cameras tonight because you're a remote online notary, and it might seem a little weird doing videos, but I have to tell you, this notary was across the entire country and it came into my feed because she was talking about something that I'm interested in. And you might think you would need to go on there and say, I'm a notary, get your document notarized. No, she was talking about, if you guys know, my mother recently fell ill. I went home for the better part of a whole month back in April. And I had been looking at things, for end of life preparation and care and all these things. And I get all these things in my Instagram feed. And she is actually talking about notarizing electronic documents and preparing for those types of things. And I'm sure it came up in my feed because it wasn't the typical notary thing, because I have my own secret Instagram account that it's not Notary Stars. I have Notary Stars on my phone, but I switch over to my little secret Instagram. I call it my Friendsta. You guys have heard of that? I have a Friendsta, which only has 700 people on it and no notaries. Because I need to be no notaries. And my phone number is not attached to that account. Nothing. I don't think anybody can really find it. It doesn't have my real name on it. It's my Friendsta. And for this notary to get into that feed, I thought, wow, we are really in that age. And for remote online notaries, you guys really have got to get into the social media. And you guys have heard me talk about it at Notary Stars, where if you're online, you guys see marketing for notaries all the time, but there are ways to tag things that are not related to notary to make your video come up. And all you have to do is make probably 100 reels, which sounds like a lot, but they're only 30 seconds. You make about 100 reels and explain to people who you are, what you do, put the right hashtags on them. And you could literally start reaching people really far from you. And then you just repost the same ones every 30 days till you cycle through them and you see which ones do better and you make more of them. And I have to tell you, we live in an age right now where you need to know how to do these things. And I'm really getting geared up to start teaching these things in my marketing class. I'm not trying to do a sales call, but if you are having problems getting started, I'm really focusing the rest of the year on social media. I mean, I will always do websites and SEO and all those things, but you're going to have to know how to have that conversation with people who are looking for you. And you don't have to put your face in all the videos. You don't have to do things like that. If you're toying with it, start looking on YouTube. If you don't want to take my course, get on YouTube and start figuring out how to make an Instagram reel, 30 to 60 seconds, YouTube shorts. Have you YouTubed anything on your phone lately? What's the first thing that comes up? YouTube shorts, not the actual videos. You have to go dig and say all and look at it. Every platform out there is competing for YouTube shorts, and with the right hashtags and the right cases, you got right text, which I'll be talking about in my SEO course tomorrow. It's still about 20 minutes left to actually, I think Gloria's taking it down in 3 minutes, but you have to know how to have that conversation, because you're not bound to your local service area anymore. You know, I teach a lot about SEO and local SEO search, also your websites. And then I'm going to move into the blue notary portion of this conversation and the big announcement of 400 plus orders. In my marketing course, if you are Ron Notary, I'm just going to say it, you are missing out, because I do teach you how to make dynamic landing pages. You all seen the notarized page in your backyard saying, you know, get your document notarized for $25 online right now. I teach you how to do that, and I can teach you how to put your website in 44,000 zip codes with one single web page build. Okay, I can teach you to compete with those larger companies, and I would love nothing more than if you learn to do it and that you shove their pages down in the search ranking, because I might not be able to compete with Notarize, but I definitely can teach 10,000 notaries to compete with them, and then they'll run out of money, and then they'll have to start paying notaries what they're worth. Okay, so consider learning, because you've got big companies that have big, deep pockets to compete with you. There's a reason why some of these companies are going after, you know, general notary work right now, because the work is not there in a lot of title and escrow. You know, if you work with Amrock, if you look over on the sidebar when you do, I wanted to screenshot it this weekend, but I didn't. Amrock starts the camera from the minute you log in, and I didn't want to be seen screenshotting anything on the camera. But it says in the sidebar that this year there's only been 5,800 and something transactions done on Nexus ClearSign. That's not a lot to divide through this entire industry and all the raw notaries out there. You know, that's not a lot. And if you're wondering why they're far and few in between, because that's all that's been done thus so far as of last Saturday. I'm curious to what it'll say. I have one tomorrow morning. I'm curious to what it'll say on the sidebar, but let's see how far that number jumps. And I'm not going to screenshot it, but moving into the next segment. This is part 2 now. Okay. I'll start it with this. Unlimited Ink has had a client for a year or so, and they've been really good to us. And some of you may have done paper signings for them. They generally have more rural area. We noticed about a month ago that Travis called me and goes, you know, they haven't really put in any orders. I mean, don't get me wrong, we've been busy, so we didn't really notice it, but we just kind of were checking the books and we were like, oh, wow, this is odd. And so I sent a little email and said, hey, you know, we haven't seen that many orders from you. And we always write a thank you email every month. And that's when it kind of sparked us, because we thank them for all their business. And they said, yeah, we are testing remote online notarization. I was like, oh, really? We do that too. And they were like, oh, well, we love your service. How much do you charge? And I quoted them $75 for this single document. And they were like, oh, well, we're getting it for like $25. I was like, okay. And I told Travis, I said, they'll be back. Because this particular transaction actually requires the notary, if the signer has any questions, to pick up the phone and call a, they call it a credit advisor. Not a loan officer, but a credit advisor. And they shove them into, either one of these two platforms, and it just sit there, and they never scheduled them, and there were notaries not clicking on the orders, and it just was a fiasco. And they were like, really, it was like 2 weeks of this, and they were like, we're going to lose our business. So, we negotiated back down, and I'm just going to be transparent about the pricing and how we're charging and what we're paying notaries. So this is a single document. There could be up to 13 pages, but it's one notarization. We explained to them, we onboarded with Blue Notary. That's why we are saying that, you need the hybrid version. And the reason that you need the hybrid version is because you can't charge the customer. You have to charge it to your card, the $3 KBA, and it's only going to cost you $3 to process it if you do it as general notary work. Okay, we pay $30. Signing order is going to get $3. You're making 28, Unlimited Ink is making 17. I find that to be a very fair, because keep in mind, I have to put 30 schedulers on a week. I have to pay Travis, the big boss's salary, every phone line that's in the company, every email address cost. It's an expense. I'm not looking at this as making money myself, but I wanted to explain the pricing on these because it is a big jump from like a loan signing to just a single document. And I wanted to explain to all of you guys, all under one roof, why the pricing is what it is. $30 for a single document. We've laid out the script for you. We send an email to the signer for you. That employed yesterday. We've been doing it for 3 days now. We're now sending an email to the signer explaining the online notary experience, that they're going to be getting a call, what they're expecting, what they need to have in place so that you can do your job. Now, you still need to know how to send that email with a link and get them into a session and all those things, but we have a script for you while you're doing it. I designed that script, not because I don't think that you are smart enough to talk your way through an online notarization, because I want to protect you. It's got things, it's just one page, and it says, I am reading a script because I need to cover certain items. For instance, it says, it lets them know that they're being recorded. It lets them know what state and county you're located in while you're doing it. It lets them know, there was one other important point. Sorry, I hear some talking here. So it covers you for all those things. Also, it lets the loan officer or credit advisor know the order has been scheduled with the notary. You may want to reach out to the signer before the notary appointment to go over any financials with them. Okay, so we're working on creating a whole experience just so that you can slide in there and do it. And here's why I want to explain why we're opening this up to everyone that's on this particular platform. Number one, it allows us to control when we have one platform that we're using. We will be onboarding other platforms, but we started with this one to just get the business secured and rescue this from this catastrophe on another platform that it was happening. We want to be able to control that experience. Blue Notary is very receptive to any suggestions that we have about fixing things. We had Miss Susan Oliveira, who brought up a long time ago that the document quality wasn't great. We put that in, they fixed that document quality. They made that product sellable for Unlimited Ink to pitch it to its clients. And I'm no different than you, okay? When I perform in a remote online notarization, I want the cheapest option because it's money that I have to pay. And even though I run a business, and I just said earlier, you got to have budgets for certain things, I still feel it. It's easy to say it, but when I think about my own experience, I feel the same thing that you do. Okay, so we started with this platform because the notary will be able to make the most money out of the transaction, and we'll be able to understand what the notary is going through. As we onboard more platforms, we will be using those as well, but we want to be able to have our team on this side understand, what is the notary experiencing? What are they looking at on the screen? If we can't learn 25 platforms and do it, all at one time. So we're going to take this slowly. and do it first with Blue Notary. Once we get comfortable, we will work with other platforms and get them approved with the company. But this is the first step into doing this. Now they're saying 400 orders minimum. The way that you will see these orders, okay, and this is your homework. I'm so glad that everybody's still here because we're close to the end of the hour, and I will take questions after this, but I want to get all this out for those that, you know, have little patience or need to go to bed, or kids are screaming in the background, give me some food. The way that you need to be found is you have to be listed in signing order number 1. Okay. For my company, Unlimited Ink Notary, we have our credentials that we want posted on Unlimited Ink Notary. Okay, we want Notary Stars, we want Notary to Pro. Those are our preferred training courses. If you've taken one of those and it's married with another training course, so be it. But we want our two preferred are Notary Stars and Notary to Pro. But if you've taken others, we will marry that, especially for on run notaries. If you have 10 training courses in your profile, you are definitely going to excel. Okay, the more training that you have, the better. I don't know where the big rumor started that I don't take other training courses. That is not true. I have 2 preferred ones because I'm experienced with them, but I do look at other training. The only training that I don't look at is the NNA, because that's just the starting ground. We all know that none of us learned how to do loan signings through the National Notary Association. None of us. We got the introduction and a little feather in our hat that sent us on our way looking for more answers. And I'm not saying anything bad about them. They do a lot for our community. They just don't teach loan signings, and they're very forthcoming about that. You have to be on signing order. You have to have some training, because even though this is a single document, the reason I brought up the pricing is because I want to try to give everyone out there an experience. I hear all the time, I'm looking for, I need to start, Ron, but I've not done one. Well, you need to get trained on the platform, which is Blue Notary. Once you learn that platform, you can switch, do another one. Maybe we'll have that platform. We'll announce when we'll do another one. You can decide which platform works for you. But we want to be able to control it so we can keep this client. At 400 plus, they told me that they're looking to try to take this up to 1,000 orders a month. They're growing, and they could not wait for this other company that we rescued them from to get their mess together to be able to do these. They already say it's running a lot smoother. Thank you to the notaries that have already picked them up. But you got to be in signing order. And what we're going to do on Sunday, so if you're here or watching the replay, which will be out tomorrow, we are going to download Notary Stars and Online Notaries Public. You need to go into your listings and you need to put what platforms you're on. And we're going to put all of you in signing order on the list of the platform that you say that you are part of. Okay, it's very easy. I just go into my back end, run a report, and we put you on that list. Okay, for Notary Stars and Online Notaries Public is actually going to go first. No offense to my Notary Stars, but these are the raw notaries that say that they are ready, that they are truly ready. I'm not encouraging you to go sign up, or you don't have to go sign up. But on Sunday, we are downloading a spreadsheet that tells us what platforms you're on. It is a manual process. I'll be paying overtime to an employee who is going to go in and say, I'm just calling a name. Dee Medina has marked herself on Blue Notary or whatever platform that you're on. And we're going to add you to those lists. You have to be ready when the order comes out. And yes, they're gonna seem like you're not getting that many, because 400 orders a month and 115 people right now on this call, plus all the people that watch the replay. It's gonna be divided, and it'll be divided evenly, and over time, certain people will rise to the top. They'll do a better job. They'll take more orders. They'll be more available. Now, these orders, I want to explain these orders so that you're prepared for them. When they come out, they're going to say remote online notarization. These particular orders will. So you're going to know that it's a remote online notarization. It's going to say the day, and it could be today, but there's no urgency to get it done. Okay, it's not a loan signing. So it's not like the clock is ticking if they don't sign by a certain time that they have to, that they're gonna lose their loan. You call the customer, and if they say, I can't sign till Saturday, but I'd love to meet you then you just put it in your calendar and you negotiate a time that's best for you and the signer. Okay, usually within a week, they'd like to do it within a week. You just update your call report and you just show up for the job. You may have to wait for some people. Some of these people are elderly. And I want to tell you that this is technically a debt settlement company. And before you hang up or close the video, watching the replay, hear me out. This is a really great company. They're not a debt settlement company. They don't want you to explain everybody. They're called FSG, Financial Services Group. They've been really wonderful with us. They don't want you talking financials. They just want you to notarize the document. The script says, I am only here to verify your identity. I do not work for this company. If anything happens, you call us and then we patch you through to the credit advisor if they're available. Another feature of Blue Notary is if the credit advisor wants to come on the live call with you on Blue Notary, we will provide you their email address to invite them into the session so that the signer can see their face as well. Okay. What this company does is it helps people who have financial problems consolidate their debts, and they work on their behalf to, do debt consolidation. The document is a power of attorney that allows that company to work on their behalf. But again, we've got it in the script and we hope that you guys will adhere to it. It says in the script, as a Notary Public, I have no opinion and will be able to give you no opinion. If you have any questions, you will be able to contact, I'll be able to reach out to your credit advisor to either invite them to the session or have them phone you while we're on this call. If they're on their phone doing the transaction, probably not going to be easy to phone into the session. So you probably want to encourage trying to invite them to have a second phone or to do it on their computer. With that said, I'm going to start taking questions because we're going to go a little bit over, but usually you learn things and I can't think of everything to say, but I think I got it out. In the session, everything that you need to know. But your homework before I start taking questions is, especially for those that have to go, you have to be in signing order. You have to be remarked as a remote online notary on your own profile. And for my company, either in Notary Stars or in Online Notaries Public, you have to be marked for the platform you actually work on. If you work with multiple, great, put those in there because we'll get those tagged. When we go through signing order, if you say that you work on Blue Notary, it has its own list that we made, that we manually put in. And we share those lists with other companies as well. We're getting signing order to build this out. You guys have got to start doing it now so you can make more money to get found. Pretty soon, they're going to have a list just like Online Notaries Public where you can tag in there so that signing agency owners can find you based on the platform you're on. Okay. So there's a lot of things changing and it's going to come really rapidly. And believe me, when California comes on for Ron next year, they're going to have even more phone calls coming in. So they better get ahead of it right now. I guarantee you that they're probably sitting there going, we got to get this done before California comes, because that's a lot of population over there. Okay. And we probably don't have that many California notaries. I know that there's some that really like to listen in on, keep their ear to ground what's coming. But when they come, that market for, the need for that is going to really come. All right, let's start going through these questions here. If you have your hand up right now, we will go through these questions. And then if you have any further questions, I'm sorry, but we're going to stop it at John Bright. So anybody that has their hand raised now, we'll get all these questions out. Miss Susan, you can go up first.
Hi, Ronnie.
Hi.
Question. I have the one that I have coming up tomorrow is a husband and wife.
Mm-hmm.
Do you want them entered separately, or do you want them all just put both documents in it at once and do them at the same time?
Really great question. I think as long as you're servicing the order and you're having them sign their respective documents, because they're not on the same documents, correct?
No.
Okay, so as long as they could be in the same session, you just notarize one document for the wife and one document for the husband. It would be no different than if you went to their house and sat at the table with them and said, you sign this one and you sign this one.
Right, okay, I wasn't sure if they needed to be separated for this company or not, so.
No, just remember to adapt your notary script that we provide you for two people and ask them
Right.
to agree to the things that we ask you to agree
Okay,
to, and you
okay.
should be fine.
Okay, all right, thanks, Ronnie.
Thank you. Dana Keller, when you're ready.
Hey, Ronnie, thanks for the seminar. It's a great seminar. I learned a lot. My quick question, you were going over the fee structure, both what you pay or what you bill to the company that we're servicing and then what you pay us. I just want to make sure I'm clear. For the money that you're giving to us, we are not paying a platform fee, correct? That's balled up in the charges that you incur, right?
No, you buy your own platform. Blue Notary is a bring your own business platform. So you pay that hybrid fee every month. You're welcome to use it with your clients as well, and you should be. And then when you do a notarization, you pay a per notarization fee. This is a single document, and currently the fee that you'll pay to process that transaction is $3.
Okay. Do you happen to know what their platform fee is per month?
I believe it's 47. Is Miss Susan, do you know that price as well? I can't remember the price right off the top of my head. It's been on autopilot for
For Blue Notary, it's 27.
$27 a month.
Yeah,
Okay.
I don't think it's up. Is it just 27? I think they only have the two, the $27 and then the free one.
I think I saw it in the chat as well that it's 27. So
Yeah,
you know, it had, yeah, people are typing in 27. So you pay your $27 a month, and then on the hybrid platform, any transaction that you do will cost you $3.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
Okay. Another thing about the hybrid platform, guys, that when you run a hybrid, if you were to bring your own business, you can have Blue Notary charge them. You're going to make the same thing that we would pay you, even if you pay the $3. So it's the same either way. You know, if you brought your own customer, or if Unlimited Ink was paying you for one document, this is what you would be charging. Okay, because most of you have caps on what you can charge anyway in per state. And a lot of you, like, let's say if you're in Arizona, can only charge $10. So you would charge them through Blue Notary. That means that they would charge them, I think it's $25 or $27. They take the $3 and the notary gets like 22. So you're making a little bit more for a single document doing this way. Miss Wanda, when you are ready.
Hello, familia. I have a question.
Yes, ma'am.
Will you have all the scripts in Spanish as well?
Really great question. No, but we will be getting a translator to do that over the weekend. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I don't think of everything. Kelly, you are up next. Kelly, are you still with us? There you go.
Yes, hi, can you hear me?
Yes.
Thank you. Hi, Ronnie. I've been training on the Blue Notary platform, and I noticed while using the session simulator that the drag and drop text box is not conducive to easily dropping and typing text. I've been hesitant to use it live because I don't want to fumble a notarization. Has anyone who may have used this live noticed this or have any input?
I have heard some notaries say that they are have had some problems with the text box. I have not had any problems. I've actually had no problems at all, but I do know a notary that I was in the session as the signer because they did contracts for Unlimited Ink and they had problems with their text boxes, but they reached out to Blue Notary and I think they fixed whatever was going on.
Okay.
I personally have not had a single session go bad at Blue Notary.
Okay, thank you. And I see that Alicia's input was it's different live, so that's very good. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you. All right, Miss Frida Mack.
Hi, Ronnie, how are you?
Good, how are you? I haven't seen you in a minute or
Right.
talked to you in a minute.
Right. Just a quick question, maybe I missed it. These orders are coming in from directly to signing order or directly
Correct.
into the notary?
We are processing them through signing order.
Okay, that was my main question. That was it.
Yep, thank you so much. Monique Mitchell,
Hi, Ronnie.
hi.
Okay, so a couple of my questions were answered already, especially the Spanish one. It'd be awesome to have a Spanish script. My other question was, I've called a couple of the signers and they had no idea that this was gonna happen online.
Mhm.
So is that something we need to explain better to them? I thought they would know about it.
You were a part of the first few schedulings before we started sending the email to let the signers know.
Oh,
So we have an email process now that goes out and number one, let their credit advisor know that they're calling. And then number two, one that goes to the signer that explains that it's going to be a remote online notarization and what that process entails.
okay.
And they're
Okay.
to reply to Unlimited Ink actually from that email to let us know if they don't have the capabilities, but they have to actually read the email first.
Okay. Okay, that's what I was wondering, because I
And
know there's no
also-
script.
Also,
that.
I will talk to the company about that because this is a new process for all of them. I will talk to them about changing the language before they say we're going to send a notary to this notary experience is going to be online.
Okay. Okay,
Okay,
thank you.
thank you. Joyce Mosley, when you are ready.
Hi, Ronnie.
Hi.
My question, thank you for this tutorial or this Zoom tonight. I haven't done a RON notarization yet, but I am familiar with a few of the platforms. I haven't signed up with them, but actually I have with DocuSign, and also I know about DocVerify. But my question is, I'm in Florida.
Mhm.
Can I notarize in other states, for other states doing RON, or just for Florida?
As long as your feet are planted in Florida, you can notarize for anybody that can get through KBA and has a US ID or passport, as long as your feet are planted in Florida.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you. So come on in, the water's fine.
Okay.
We have Felicia Collins up next.
Hey Ronnie, hey everybody, how's everything going?
Great. Welcome to the session tonight.
Thank you. I missed most of it, unfortunately. But I did have one question about when we get these orders, like I called the client, is somebody verifying whether or not the client is needing Spanish or English or something before? Because I think my client probably needs a Spanish speaking notary.
No, that's another thing that we need to discuss with them. So I will have that discussion on Monday morning. They'll be out of the office until Monday. But if you have a Spanish speaking, we will, you can always send it back to us if you don't speak Spanish and let us know the signer needs Spanish.
Okay.
Especially on RON, guys, don't be, if you can't fully communicate with your signer 100%, we've all been encouraged to kind of let the daughter of the family, translate. Well, you definitely can't do this on RON. Okay, so if you don't speak the same language, let us know and we'll get that reassigned to a Spanish speaking notary.
Well, right now I can't even get her on the phone. I called her yesterday and she said she was driving and she only wants to text. So I can't even get her to give me a confirmation for the appointment.
Okay, just report that in your call report, and you can also send an email to contact@unlimitedinknotary.com and let our team know, and we can have their credit advisor reach out to them.
Okay, yeah, I put it in the contact form. But also another question, kind of off of one of the other questions you got. When we call them, if they don't even know about signing a power of attorney, what do I say to them then?
When you, what do you mean when they don't know about signing a power of attorney, or are they reluctant to do it, or they don't? What?
Well, they didn't even know that they were supposed to be signing one at all. Nobody let them know. And I'm the first one telling them, and they're like, what are you even talking about? So,
So that is when you refer them to their credit advisor. You let us know so the credit advisor can call and explain the process. They probably have been told in literature and over the phone for the notary appointment. They've probably been told, you know, you're going to finish your paperwork. They DocuSigned. You guys, the rest of the paperwork is DocuSigned. They're only giving you the notarization point or notarization point of it, part of it. They may not be using the right language, so I can talk to them about that as well. But you always refer it back to their credit advisor.
okay.
So you let us know, hey, the credit advisor needs to give them a call and explain to them what they're signing. You are not to explain, you know, you're just there to verify their identity and make sure that they want to sign the document.
Yeah.
Literally,
Okay.
that's all we do.
All right. Well, thank you.
Thank you. We have Terry Russell coming up next.
Okay, Ronnie. So 2 things. Just got through signing up with online.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? The online
Notaries
Notaries
Public.
Public. Yes. And so going back to that, so I'm getting that straight. My computer shows blah blah blah. But the Blue Notary is what I'm a little confused on. Like, if I've never used it, you're saying that that's what you want us to start with. I've been using One Notary,
Mm-hmm.
but you're saying that you prefer us to use Blue Notary for the first few times.
All of the notarizations are to be done on Blue Notary at the moment for this company.
Got you.
The one
And
that-
then how to get comfortable, just like I did with One Notary. I think I saw some tutorials and all that because I signed up in February.
Yeah, they have their own training at Blue Notary. Any platform that you're going to be work with should have their own training.
Yeah, I see that. It has about several tutorials that I'm looking at. Some of them, it looks like you paid something. Says lifetime access, 34 lessons, $99.
Mm-hmm.
But at the bottom, it has tutorials and it has several that looks like how I would have done One Notary. But to confirm, so you're saying that go on Blue Notary, get familiar with that, and then but still on your online notarization website, go ahead and put One Notary that I've used that platform.
Yeah, you want to mark every platform that you've used.
Okay. And
Not that you've used, but that you're currently using.
Gotcha. And
Okay.
then I'm
If you
already
mark it later, you need to let me know that you signed up with Blue Notary because I have to make sure you get onto the unlimited ink notary list.
so go back on there and say that even though I haven't used it yet, still say that I've clicked that button for Blue Notary.
Do not put yourself on that list until you do it, because if my company calls you too many times and you're not ready for it,
That's what okay,
we'll
great.
stop calling.
Gotcha. I truly understand. And I've been signed up with signing order. I mean, 90% of anything that's from a signing agency is through them, not SnapDocs for some reason.
Yeah, it's busier in different regions of the country, whether it's SnapDocs or signing order, really.
And then I did notice that it was a young lady who asked this question earlier in regards to this, but I do notice that some people are not aware that they have to have a social security number.
Mm-hmm.
And I lost a deal like that because it didn't work on One Notary. I don't know what platform you can go to that it will work, because they needed to have a social security number. They thought they could just have a passport ID number.
I know that they put in the last 4 digits of their social for KBA, but they
No, I'm saying the people who assigned me, the Ron,
Mhm.
on through signing order, they thought it was going to work out beautifully, but they didn't know that the client did not have a social security number.
Oh, got it. Yeah. When they don't have a social security number, generally what we do is we process them through a Virginia notary. And
Okay.
I would encourage all of you, to make a friend with a Virginia notary and, have them process anybody that's, international. You'll look really good to your clients if you have an alternative to them. There's going to be also other situations where you might want to make friends with notaries in states that have biometrics, to where they can process, because there are certain states where, you know, you, instead of doing KBA, you can do biometrics. So
Is Blue Notary like that? Biometrics?
if you are a biometric notary in a state, yes. But
Okay.
I'll tell you this now, it's unlocked where you can choose to do it. But you want to make sure that you do not use it unless your state really truly allows it, because you can wind up not a notary.
And then I know with one notary, if they answer the questions wrong twice, then it's locked for 24 hours. Is that the same as Blue Notary?
Correct. And just so you guys know, if you're using multiple platforms, KBA does, if you fail KBA twice, you can't just pop over to another platform and go through it again in the same day. It's locked out for 24 hours. You might have another platform. Now, if they leave and go to another notary, that's fine. They're the one breaking the law. But you can't knowingly put them on another platform and try to get through KBA. Again,
Oh, okay.
yeah, it's
Okay.
designed to stop fraud. So you would be helping them commit fraud if they are fraudulent people. just
Okay.
trying to get
Because
through.
one of the question was that he failed was, what was the address you and your wife, Michelle, blah, 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 shared? But he was divorced from her 15 years ago. And so he was like, Terry, I don't even know that one. So that's the one he messed up on.
Yeah.
Okay.
You know, I used to own a vacation rental company, and I had 500 properties that were, you know, had either leases or, you know, utilities in my name. So try getting me through KBA. It's
Okay. Thank you so much.
hard. Thank you. John Bright, you are up next.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, a question on the notifications. Are they coming in Ron signing available?
It should say remote online notarization.
Okay, because I got a bunch from Unlimited Ink that said RON signing available.
Yes.
But I think I got like 8 notifications on the same one. That happened yesterday.
No,
And
it's just because the Ron Notary list right now for Blue Notary is about 30 people, and we got to get all
Oh,
the
okay.
guys entered. So literally yesterday, I'll just tell you how many they put in, like total, since we made the announcement. Let's see. I'm just looking at it. Let's see this month. So total. So if you thought that there were a lot going out and you were just getting the same one, there's been 52 put in 2 days.
Wow. Okay. And also, I got 2 from Unlimited Ink that just said signing available in another state, with another city in another state.
Yes.
Would that have been just a glitch?
No. So again, I explained this earlier in the call, and I'll say it again. It's a great time to repeat it. They should say Ron, but we have some clients that are only doing a few Ron, so they don't have the right button in their dashboard.
Okay.
And so when they put it in, if you're seeing it in another state, it's going to show you the signing address, but always check it out to see, because it could be a Ron.
Okay.
And other companies are still doing this too. So it's going to happen outside of Unlimited Ink as well. Signing order was not prepared or built for Ron. It was built, you know, a long time ago.
Yeah.
It wasn't built. We never even knew Ron was going to be a thing. So I'm sure when they built it, now they're trying to adapt, and they're taking feedback on how to find the notaries and put the information in, because Ron adds a lot of elements. So if you see one that comes out for another state, check in on it, because it could be a Ron.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. And I said we were going to stop at John, but we're now going to stop at Terry. I just want to make sure everybody's questions get answered. Feel free to stick around if you want to. And Helen, when you are ready.
Yes, hi, Ronnie. Yes, thank you. My question is that as I'm just starting out on signing order, and as you know, I'm still training for the signing agent. So I'm still on my errors and omissions insurance for 25,000, because I only prepare like for Ron. But as I just sign up on the notary directory and also on signing order, is it okay if I stayed on the 25,000 insurance?
Here's the thing, most companies, signing agencies want you to have a minimum of 100,000. And if you're planning on going direct, you're gonna want $1 million. Okay.
Wow,
I've
okay.
I've heard of like one notary that got a job with 500,000 on direct business. And the goal is to get direct business. So when you start working direct with title, no one's gonna look at you unless you have $1 million. You know, everyone that you walk into is gonna say, can you update your errors and omissions insurance? The more you have, the more attractive it becomes. 25,000 errors and omissions is really not for people who are not loan signing agents. They're not doing loans like we are. And I always equate it to this. I always equate it to this so you can kind of see the perspective. When's the last time any one of us signed a house for under $100,000? You know, you've got to be able to cover some damage if you do something bad there.
Of course. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you. Charles, you're up next.
That was my question also, but I also got Ron certified through the loan signing system.
Mm-hmm.
Then do you recognize that one?
We recognize any training. Definitely, you're going to need, you know, at least 2 training companies to pair with. You know, have you trained at Notary Stars or at Notary to Pro?
I am not. I've done the National Notary Association and the loan signing system.
Okay, we definitely are going to be looking to see if you've had, you know, Ron training through Notary Stars as well, because we really focus on Ron safety training. And that'll give me a little prop to right now. This is a really great question. For anybody that is listed on Online Notaries Public, in the next 6 weeks, we are creating the Notary Lounge and all of William Bumfrey's replays. Now, if you want to attend his live courses, you have to go to class, but a lot of his select training is now going to be available on Online Notaries Public as long as you're a member. So you can get that training paired there as well. We want to bring that to the directory so that we have more value on that side too, because we know that there are some people that are either or, depending on what their focus is. So we want to make sure that training is available to you. So Charles, if you're also listed on Online Notaries Public, you'll have access to the Notary Star training or what we would like you to see. So we would encourage you to go in there and take that training as well. It'll be a part of that membership.
And I also took the certification course for the Desco tab.
Okay, perfect. Yeah, make sure all of this is listed in your profile.
Okay.
Okay. Thank you. Miss Susan, you are up next.
I've got a question. If we're having problems either with the signer or the platform or whatnot, and we're spending forever trying to get them online for one reason or another, how many attempts and how long? I mean, are we supposed to just stay on until they eventually get online and we get it notarized? I mean, I was online for over 2.5 hours, about 2.5 hours yesterday with an elderly couple. And
yeah, no, sorry. If it's a technological issue, I would say 30 minutes maximum.
okay.
You know, that's being really generous. When I work with Amrock, you know, if I can't get somebody online, they give us a full hour. And if I can't get somebody online, you know, within 30 minutes, they'll usually allow. And I usually just tell them this is a technological challenge. They're not going to be able to do it. Either they don't have the technology or they don't understand or what have you. Now, that is something else that Ron Notaries need to understand. Even though we send a what to expect email, you guys have got to know how to put that script into Blue Notary, the email that you send out. You need to have your own email that goes out explaining, saying, look for my email, and write out your journey for your customer. What are they going to receive? That's why you should do a phone notarization with a friend and say, send me the email you received so I can see what it looks like. Send me, you know, what your feedback is. Do some notarization so you can write out your own experience for your signers. And I guarantee you, Bill will tell you he's done that with every platform he's on. He's got it dialed in. So you guys should pop in his course next Friday and ask him, like, how do you prepare the signers? What is your process? I might have just helped him create his next class. You know, how do you prepare for that? Okay. Terry, you are up next.
Okay, hi Ronnie.
Hi.
Okay, so my question is regarding the fees.
Mhm.
So Blue Notary, you said is $27 a month, okay?
Mhm.
So then I have here, so I have to pay like $3. Is that upfront before the notarization?
You will pay it once the notary, so you're not charged unless the notarization completes. Your card is charged at the time of the notarization, $3.
Okay, yeah, okay, so that was my question. So then my card is charged $3 at when the notarization is complete.
Mhm.
And then, so then we have to bill the signer?
No, you don't build a signer at all. And if you do build a signer using the hybrid version and you find out, it will be blacklisted signing order, and I will escalate it as theft. We make the instructions very clear. You are to bill yourself that $3. The signer doesn't pay. That's why we're asking for the hybrid model, because the free version, you would have to bill the signer. On the hybrid version, you can bill the signer or you can bill yourself, and you have to bill yourself because money's already been collected for you. So that would be double dipping.
Oh, okay.
If anybody is caught doing that, that will have major repercussions on their reputation.
So then I don't bill the signer. So then how do I get paid? And when do I get paid?
Unlimited Ink will cut you your check within our payment terms.
Oh, okay, so that'll be like within your normal 90 days,
60 days.
60 days. Okay.
Okay.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. And we are working with this company. We are waiting an answer on Monday. We normally bill them every 30 days, which they have the right to mail the check up to 45 days. We are looking to bill them sooner so that we can write checks for these, because you guys will have an upfront cost. Do not think that didn't come up in a meeting. We are looking to try to see if we can get these paid out faster, because we know, let's just say you did 100 of them, that'd be $300. So we want to make sure, and then you'd have to wait. We've already posed that question, and they seemed very open to changing billing styles. We just are waiting on an official answer on Monday.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. And then our last question for today is Lula Burke.
Hi, Ron.
Hi there.
Hi, I have a few questions. I apologize if my background gets noisy. That's my son in the background. So I was hoping I'd be able to ask all my questions. One has to do with signing up on signing order.
Mhm.
Signing order doesn't allow you to say, it just allows you to check off your RON, but not the platforms you're using. So
You're right. And I mentioned that earlier. Signing order is working on that, but right now that you have to put in remote online notary, you still have to check that box.
okay, all right. I just wanted to make sure I didn't miss anything, because I was like, I don't see where to check off the other platforms.
They are
All
working
right.
on it. It should be pretty soon. They are working on getting all those listed.
Okay, all right. And I really want to do the RON. It's just that I haven't gotten very many on the different platforms that I've been on.
Mhm.
And, you're dishing out all this money monthly to like have a platform. So this is like another one. So I know you say they have a lot of online notarizations that need to get done, but I'm just wondering who you're going to prioritize, who's going to get what. I know right now you're saying you do have a lot, but like I see you.
Everyone
Go
that
ahead.
has marked themselves as on Blue Notary at this moment on my platforms, if you're not seeing orders, by Wednesday next week, through Ron, you need to email me, contact at Notary Stars or contact at onlinenotarypublic.com and make sure that you got taken over. I gave homework for everybody to make sure that they've updated their listings on both platforms so that we can identify them in signing order, because we have an internal list for each platform. We're going to be uploading those over the weekend, and it might take up until Wednesday. But if you are on that platform, now I want to say this, that yes, there will be notaries. How am I going to choose? And I said this during the seminar. We're going to be taking that 400 to 1,000 and dividing it between everybody. We're going to try to give everybody a chance. Okay. We want you guys to get the experience with Ron. For those that have not done Ron, we want you to get that experience. 400 to 1,000 orders divided by 10,000 notaries that are listed between the two directories. Not going to be a lot of them, you know, and not everybody's a Ron notary, just so you know. The Ron notary pool is much smaller, but you know, the 1,000 notaries dividing 400 orders, it's not going to be life-changing money, but it will help you get that experience and get you comfortable with doing Ron. And when it comes to buying a platform, if you buy Blue Notary just for this because you know someone that has business on there, Travis says it best, you know, the only guarantees that we can make is that a business owner, you have to make business decisions. Ron platforms are tax deductible. You have to take that and write it off. I know it is a fee. I know listings are a fee, but you have to allocate, what can I pay for? What am I getting from this? What value do I have from this? You know, we are going to be dividing it up, and there will be overtime notaries who rise to the top, who do just stellar jobs and are always available. And yes, the overtime, but opening it up through the rest of this year, I'm trying to give every single person a chance so that they can get comfortable with being on that camera, being on that screen, contacting a signer, preparing for the Ron. This is experience that, you know, everybody I think is really thirsty for as well. You know, I wish I could give one notary a way to make, you know, every single order, but I don't think it would be fair to our community to do that. I think this is an opportunity for our, you know, community to get some experience, to, you know, finally start using Ron. And, you know, the platforms might be slightly different, but the processes are all the same. You know, the notarization, the educating the signers, you know, where everything is might be different on each platform. But that whole experience of being a Ron notary, you only have to do it a few times, and then I think you're off to the races. And I think that's the biggest problem I see in the notary community right now is, where do I get my experience with my first one? Well, guess what? This is a single document. This is easy, and you get paid to do it. So I wanted to say it that way, but I'd love to hear the rest of your questions as well.
That's pretty much it for now. I apologize. I know my background's going to get busy, so I had to get in my first two that were most important to me. But I'll email you if I have any, or join, you know, when you have your next session. I'll join the next session and ask.
Awesome. Okay, everybody. I thank you for all your questions tonight. I hope that you learned some things when it comes to filling out your listings, how important it is, why it's important. It's not just about people finding you, it's people that, you know, might be looking for your listing for afar. The more information that you can put in, all the zip codes that you can service, all the states that you service, all the, you know, any languages that you speak, anything that you can put in your bios. You want to spend time constantly grooming. If you have a really great website already built, use the information on your website to help fill out your listings. You know, if you are on Online Notaries Public, if you're on Notary Stars, if you're on Bill Soroka's new directory, if you're on Margie Kaplan's directory called Notary Social, if you're our socials, I can't remember if it's a yes or S or not a S, but if you're on any of those directories, you know, use the space that you have to fill in every word on the internet counts, because Google reads these directories and there are power in numbers. I've always explained this on Notary Stars. My listing in Phoenix, Arizona is helping Rod Coleman's listing in Portland, Oregon, and his listing in Portland, Oregon is helping someone listing. There is power in numbers, but the more information you put into Google, the higher your listing goes, and the more information that we all put in, the higher the directory goes. Okay. The only reason that Notary, Rotary, and 123 Notary, which are kind of fading away, lasted so long is because notaries went on there and complained, and they were constantly putting in information, which Google loved. All those notary complaints that you dig through is what made those sites successful. What's going to make the site successful now is a lot of them have taken away these forums where you can complain because it doesn't help anybody and you don't get found, is to go put new information in about your business. Okay. We need a new generation, a new way of going into these things. And I promise you, if you listen, things will change. You don't have to go on and type the rest of your life, but inputting information, remember, Google's like Pac-Man. It's going around and it's eating every word that you type in. And every word you type in helps your business, and it helps the directories you're listed in. It helps people find you, helps your website. But you have got to assimilate, you know, like in Star Trek, you will assimilate. You have got to get used to social media and talking on the internet. All right, guys, if you just came in at the end of this, please turn on your cameras. You are Ron Notaries. You are gonna be on camera anyway, so get on camera with me for just a moment. I'd like to do our signature wave. If you've never been to a Notary Star meeting before, we always say goodbye. At the end of every meeting, we like to wave to ourselves. We like to wave to the notaries that couldn't make it. Wave to yourself if you come back and watch the first part of the replay and make it to this section. And guys, I always say it like this. If you are not naked or stuffing your face with a sandwich right now, turn on that camera and let's wave to all those notaries, future Ron notaries, the next generation of notaries. And Miss Beth would say it, I don't know if she's here tonight, but the way she would say it is, when you get to where you're going, guys, don't forget to reach back and bring somebody along with you. Okay? Y'all have a wonderful weekend.